Hello, everybody. Today we will be discussing the Teflon debate, which is answering the question of if Teflon and other polyfluoroalkyl substances should be used in human products. I'm Evan Weiss.
Hello, I am Abraham Vieira.
Hello, I'm Joshua Lucero.
And I will send it to Abraham to talk about the background.
Okay, so today we'll be discussing PFOA. PFOA is a chemical that has been linked to many health effects. PFOA is a chemical within a group called polyfluoroalkyl substances, PFAS. And the purpose of this paper is to thoroughly assess the modus ponens deduction argument that if Teflon and other polyfluoroalkyl PFA based products are harmful to humans, then they should not be used in products for humans. The argument that Teflon and other PFAs based products are harmful to humans will be established using a structuralized outline argument. The outline of the argument will consist of a timeline that begins with the major health effects of PFAs that are triggered from the PFAs in people's blood, and the discussion on how that weakens your immune system. In addition, we will also discuss in this paper is PFAs slowing production of antibodies. Toxicology reports will be evaluated as reference. Secondly, on the timeline will be the explanation of PFAs creating development issues. The developmental issues that PFAs create that will be emphasized on this paper and presentation are lower birth weights, the impact of lower birth rates leading to weaker children, and pregnant women with PFAs in their bloodstreams having higher probability to give birth to a baby with a smaller head circumference. The final and third item on the timeline will be an analysis on PFAO and is linked to testicular and kidney cancer as well, and its links to cancer within animals. These arguments will be presented with the appropriate references to provide credibility. And lastly, the opposing viewpoint that I will be presenting towards the end of this presentation will explore the back end, will explore that non-stick cookware that has the infamous reputation of containing Teflon and PFA chemicals are in fact safer for human use.
All right, so research has shown that the presence of PFAs in a person's bloodstream has led to a weaker immune system. In a 2016 study by the National Toxicology Program, they found that two of the most studied members of this large family of chemicals, or of the family of PFAs, the two largest chemicals are PFOA and PFOS. And these two chemicals, they found that they can pose an immune hazard to humans based on a high level of evidence that PFOA and PFOS suppress the antibody response from animal studies and a moderate level of evidence from studies in humans. Furthermore, the presence of PFAs in a person's bloodstream can cause a slower and less effective immune response. The Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry states that evidence is suggestive of a link between serum PFOA, PFOS, PFHXS, and PFDEA, which are all parts of the family called PFAS. Increased levels have led to a decrease in antibody responses to vaccines. The presence of these chemicals, which are all part of the PFAS family, leads to a poor response to diseases and vaccines within the immune system. The Environmental Working Group also states that the link between higher blood levels of PFAS and reduced antibody production following vaccination has been observed in studies of both children and adults. So PFAS not only causes the immune system response to be weaker to diseases, but it also makes the immune response to vaccines weaker. And this can lead to many more health problems in both children and adults. As you can see from this graph, which was from the toxicology report, which was done by the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry, it shows that 38 different studies have shown a link between PFOA, which is the main chemical in making Teflon, and those 38 studies showed that there were immunological effects. 20 of those studies saw the effects in humans, and 18 of them saw them in animals. Research has also shown that the presence of PFAs has links to developmental effects in infants and children. The main indication of this is that there has been a link to lower birth weights among infants. The Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry states that evidence is suggestive of a link between serum PFOA and PFOS and small decreases in birth weight. Also, researchers Zion Liu, Human Gudarzi, and Yusuf Ulhote conducted a study into the effects of PFAS on fetal and postnatal development and found that the presence of PFAS has links to glucose levels in the fetus, as well as head circumference. The research states that inverse associations between maternal fasting glucose concentrations during pregnancy and PFAS is suggestive of reduced availability of maternal glucose reaching the fetus, which could be a potential mechanism linking PFAS exposure to reduced weight and adiposity at birth. This means that the presence of PFAS has links to lower glucose levels reaching the fetus, which then leads to a lower birth weight and less development of the fetus and infant. Furthermore, the research also shows that there was a decrease in head circumferences among infants who had PFAs in their bloodstream. The research also focused on the effects of PFAs later on in child development, concluding that it can lead to an increased BMI later in their child's life. They stated that there are associations between maternal PFOA, but not PFOS, PFNA, and PFHXS, with higher BMI gains from 2 to 8 years and greater adiposity at age 8 years. So the presence of PFAs not only reduces birth weights in infants and children at birth, but it also makes it more likely for them to be overweight and develop problems related to obesity later on in their development. Okay, this graph from a study by the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry shows that 84 different studies have shown a link between PFOA and developmental effects in both humans and animals. 53 of those studies showed that there was a link between PFOA and developmental effects in humans, and 31 found those effects in animals as well.
PFOA has been known to cause many defects in men, women, and children. When PFOA or C8 chemical has been produced on the plant, those who came into contact with PFOA could have been a direct link to kidney and testicular cancer. The Netflix documentary, The Devil We Know, an old video shown by Will Burr Tennant. It shows DuPont toxic waste being dumped into the water, which then led to his dead cattle and his own health problems. He would then die in 2009 of cancer at the age of 67.
And the opposing view that we're going to present today is about nonstick cookware. Teflon is a chemical coating that was being utilized to create a non-reactive, non-stick surface to be applied to cookware. Teflon has gained a controversial reputation over the years for its alleged links to health risks, but the discussion that Teflon is safe to cook with is ongoing. Non-stick cookware have Teflon. Chemical Teflon is built from carbon fluorine atoms. Teflon built a reputation for creating a near frictionless surface utilized mainly within cookware. Other vital usages for Teflon consisted of cable coating, carpet protection, and waterproofing products. Teflon's controversial reputation related mostly to its connection to a chemical named PFOA. Fortunately, according to reports from Healthline, the Teflon product is now being manufactured PFOA-free, eliminating the PFOA threat related to Teflon. PFOA, according to Healthline, has not been used in the production of Teflon since the year 2003. The following presentation discussed issues on one, being lower birth rates that stem from PFAs in relation to PFOA, contributed to this issue of lower birth rates due to its linkage. Due to these ties and other concerns, the PFOA Stewardship Program, created 2006 by the EPA, pushed the campaign to eliminate PFOA from Teflon products, as reported by Healthline. Non-stick cookware that utilizes Teflon can be safe for usage now that PFOA chemical is no longer used in the process of Teflon. In addition, consumers can take extra steps to make non-stick cookware safer. These steps consist of not preheating empty cookware, do not use cookware in high heat, ventilate your kitchen when using cookware, hand wash the cookware, and replace the cookware when aged. These steps can be used to optimize the safety of using nonstick cookware using Teflon, regardless if they are PFOA free. These steps can eliminate any other potential risks that may still linger in the use of these cookware products. If these steps are taken, then in fact, Teflon and nonstick cookware can be utilized safely. The argument that Teflon is safe to cook is valid. Teflon cookware products can be used in a safe manner, and benefits can be gained from its nonstick features when cooking.
In conclusion, Teflon and other chemical substances should not be used in products that are used by humans and even animals. PFAS has been linked to increased chances of a patient being diagnosed with testicular, kidney, and breast cancer. Overall, the severe health risks posed by chemical substances leads us to determine that PFAS should not be used in products for humans or animals.